Right now, new information surrounding the arrest of a Beloit teacher accused of inappropriately touching a student.
And a devastating crash involving a tanker truck leads to major backups near Watertown. We'll have the latest on that situation.
Plus, a new plan is being discussed at the state capitol, which would provide some relief for caregivers in Wisconsin.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Topping the news at 6, a Rock County teacher arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting a student is at home tonight after being released from jail.
Now he will wait a month before appearing in court. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter has the update from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette. Adam?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, Scott Abbott taught construction at Beloit Memorial High School, and part of that had him interacting with students away from the school. Yesterday, he was arrested after a student came forward and said he allegedly sexually assaulted them. Today, he's out of jail. Beloit police arrested high school teacher Scott Abbott yesterday after he allegedly sexually assaulted a student at the school. City administrators told me off camera today that the arrest was made based on claims of an assault that happened this month, with one student coming forward as a victim and another as a witness. The district then called police, who arrested Abbott, a 53-year-old from Rockford, Illinois. In a release yesterday, they said the Rock County District Attorney would be reviewing the arrest. We learned today that shortly after Abbott was booked in jail, he was released. Beloit PD says this was at the discretion of the district attorney. So what's next? For now, Abbott is still on Beloit Memorial's payroll, despite being on administrative leave. He has a tentative court date set for March 26th, and he's currently facing no charges. Today, I reached out to Beloit Police, the School District of Beloit, and Rock County District Attorney's Office. All three refused to go on camera. Police said they couldn't because the investigation is still ongoing. The district said they didn't feel comfortable to do so, and the DA's office said until charges are filed, they don't have much to do with this case. I spoke over the phone with some parents of Beloit Memorial students today who told me they are upset with the way that this is all being handled and that the district has not been clear with them about what is happening during this whole process. Again, Scott Abbott, first court date, March 26th.
Adam Duxter in the Rock County Bureau tonight. Adam, thank you.
A prosecutor alleges that a man whose Madison apartment was found to contain homemade explosives appeared to be planning an attack on the UW campus. Brian Campbell pleaded no contest in January to second-degree reckless endangerment and possession of improvised explosives. Police seized what appeared to be bomb-making materials from his Timberlake Trails apartment last year. And these are photos taken inside that apartment, made public today. Assistant District Attorney John Rice says Campbell had searched the internet for instructions on making explosives. He even drew maps of tunnels of the university's campus. To see all 75 photos from inside that apartment, we have them posted on our website, channel3000.com. Cash bond set at $50,000 for 22-year-old Jerome Winslow. He's the man accused of violently assaulting a 19-year-old woman on Langdon Street in downtown Madison. At his court appearance today, he was charged with 5 felony counts, all with repeater modifiers.
A snow emergency has been declared for Madison. Let's get a look at our first alert forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti in the Weather Center. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Charlotte. Well, the good news is most of the accumulating snow is over with, but we're still left with some flurries and maybe a little freezing drizzle through the evening hours. That as the main area of snow lifts northward into upper Michigan and far northeastern Wisconsin, even out of the Fox Valley. So we're just left with some flurries or some patchy freezing drizzle here. Low temperatures this morning started out in the teens to the lower 20s. High temperatures today were right around freezing, or in some cases even a little bit above it. Here in Madison, we topped out at 34, and we're still at 34 degrees now. Temperatures are around freezing in the northern parts of our viewing area, but as those temperatures drop back below freezing, flurries and freezing drizzle could make for some slick roads, streets, sidewalks, maybe even parking lots that haven't been treated. Otherwise, by tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the upper teens, but skies will clear out, and we'll look for bright, sunny skies for tomorrow. High temperature a little colder at 29 degrees. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. All lanes are back open tonight after a crash involving a tanker truck on Highway 26 near Watertown. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Department says a car rear-ended the tanker truck around 11:30 this morning. Shortly after, a third car hit them, causing one of the vehicles to burst into flames. One person was killed and at least another was injured. However, their injuries are unknown. All northbound lanes were closed until about 4:30 this afternoon.
Governor Tony Evers has vetoed an income tax cut bill today, one that passed both houses in the Republican legislature. State Democrats had called the bill a stunt by Republicans. They wanted to tap a budget surplus, did the Republicans, for these tax cuts. Governor Evers is proposing his own cut, plans to include it in the state budget he'll unveil next week. The governor and Republicans did agree on a middle-class income tax cut, but disagree on exactly how to pay for it. Governor Evers, picked to lead the State Department of Transportation, says by every measure, the state's transportation system is declining. He testified before the Senate's Transportation Committee this afternoon. There are doubts about whether Craig Thompson will be confirmed by the Senate because Republican Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald has raised some concerns about his background as a lobbyist for the Transportation Development Association. A new plan at the Capitol could provide financial relief for the nearly 600,000 family caregivers in Wisconsin.
Each year, they provide more than 538 million hours of care to parents, spouses, and other loved ones. Rose Schmidt sat down with one family who says this proposal could make a huge difference, and she's live at the Capitol. Rose?
That's right. People over the age of 65 are making up a larger percent of the population, and the cost to take care of them add up pretty quickly. It's an average of $7,000 each year, but the Credit for Caring Act could help offset some of those costs.
Hey, Mom, don't get mad at me.
It's never easy to experience this.
I'm gonna make you go out in the snow.
A situation Stephanie O'Keefe found herself in by circumstance.
My mom was diagnosed with posterior cortical atrophy.
A possible form of Alzheimer's that came when Stephanie's mom was just 58, and one that changed her life immeasurably.
My mom was my best friend, and I used to call her every day and talk. And we have gotten to the point where she doesn't know who I am.
She and her husband moved in with her father in 2015 to provide care 24/7 to her mom.
You can't just go out to dinner or go take your kid to the museum for a day on the weekend. It's not really possible to do the things that normal families do.
She's hoping that a new bipartisan proposal at the Capitol could relieve some stress on her family. It would give a $1,000 tax credit to middle and low-income caregivers who take care of a family member 18 years or older.
So the caregiver tax credit is a really important recognition of the cost savings that family caregivers provide to the state of Wisconsin.
The Alzheimer's Association is pushing for the measure, as there are 194,000 Alzheimer's caregivers in Wisconsin.
Not everyone knows that Alzheimer's is actually the most expensive disease to care for.
Supporters are trying to bring awareness to the huge financial strain and sacrifices caregivers have to make.
I had to quit my full-time job, and we live with 4 adults and 1 child on one person's salary.
But despite all the struggles, Stephanie says she never would have made a different choice.
She would have done the same for us in a heartbeat, so there was really never any choice for our family other than to keep her at home as long as possible.
A similar bill was proposed last session, but it failed to pass. The authors say that's likely because of the high price tag. It was an estimated cost of $173 million each year.
Rose Schmidt live at the Capitol. Rose, thank you.
Madison Mayor Paul Soglin and Sacha Rhodes Conway came out on top last night of the Madison mayoral primary, but there really wasn't a runaway winner, so this race is still very much up for grabs. Mayor Soglin beat Rhodes Conway by just 323 votes. He won with 29% of the vote. Rhodes Conway with 28%. Third place finisher Mo Cheeks took 23%.
Compared to 2015, when the mayor, again, was running for re-election, he won the primary by over 50%, and that's a very good sign going into a general election. This time, I think he has a real fight on his hands.
Keep in mind.
At a press conference today, Mayor Soglin said his proven track record is what sets him apart. Rhodes Conway says she's banking on voters wanting a change from his administration. Still ahead tonight, mentally dealing with the seemingly non-stop snow.
Advice from the pros when it comes to seasonal affective disorder. Stay with us. Welcome back. After another day of snow, some southern Wisconsinites are wondering if it will ever stop. For others, the impacts of the snow are more serious.
New tonight, Chris Lewinberg tells us about how people deal with seasonal affective disorder when the snow just won't let up.
As the winter wears on and the snow keeps coming, it's easy to wonder when the snow will all melt away. And if that's concerning you, then you aren't the only one. It turns out that what happens out here can also impact you in here. Looking out the window, the snow-covered streets can be a lot to take in.
Snow on trees and stuff is pretty, but it's pretty from inside.
If it seems overwhelming, that's because it is.
On like gray, cloudy days, it's less that it makes me feel bad as much as I feel so drained. I have no energy to do anything.
According to Tanya Letman-Shu of Journey Mental Health Center, the winter can be more than just a bummer to people who suffer from seasonal affective disorder.
Those people may be sleeping much longer than they would normally sleep, taking lots of naps, not reaching out to friends and family, staying home from work, not getting the exercise that they would normally want to participate in. They may withdraw.
It's not always easy to know if you're dealing with seasonal affective disorder.
It's easy for us to think negative thoughts like, oh, I have to do the shoveling again or the snow removal again.
But there are a few surefire ways to start boosting your mood.
Force yourself to participate in behaviors that you know to be beneficial and that can alleviate the symptoms, like diet, like exercise, like increased social interaction.
Even though it can seem easier just to stay inside during these long winter months, getting outside and doing some activities can make a big impact. I'm Chris Lewinberg, News 3 Now.
Now, according to Letman-Shu, seasonal affective disorder tends to emerge between the ages of 18 and 30. It is also more likely to occur in women.
With the constant blast of winter storms we've seen over the last month, it also hasn't given drivers much of a break. Because of the stress that comes with the job, the city makes sure there is help available to those feeling overwhelmed by the work, including an employee assistance program, which is a free 24/7 counseling service.
You know, if they're just overwhelmed and tired, we totally understand they can take the day off, or maybe not work that one overtime shift so that they can get some rest and then be back and ready for the next one.
Including today, it has snowed 27 of the last 35 days, which has had plow drivers working overtime to clear the streets and keep them that way.
So ahead tonight, a statewide nonprofit is providing a safety net for those who are having trouble affording their next energy bill.
And the snow finally coming to an end today. Your forecast for the rest of the week when we come back.
Here in Wisconsin, we know the importance of keeping the heat on, especially when it's as cold as it's gotten this winter.
A statewide nonprofit is providing a safety net for those who are having trouble affording their next energy bill, including seniors and veterans. Last year, Miko, a Marine veteran, lost his job and was having a hard time finding work after an accident. The looming bills and cold posed a threat to their home. They then connected with Energy Services, which offers the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool initiative and Heat for Heroes program.
I think you guys would be without this program.
Wow.
I don't even want to think
Yeah,
about it.
that's the toughest part, the toughest aspect, absolutely.
With financial assistance and a payment plan, Kelly and Miko were able to keep the lights on and use spare money for food and medicine.
And we want to remind you about our Day of Warmth telethon happening tomorrow. News 3 Now partnering with Energy Services, Inc. from 4 to 6:30 tomorrow. We'll be taking your calls and donations in a phone bank. You can also donate all day online.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now, and I feel like we are knee deep in all of this.
Oh, we're more than knee deep. Trust me, we're more than knee deep. I mean, if you look at the snow piles at the end of my driveway, literally it's over my head now. You know, there's just no place to put it anymore. And so, yeah, it is getting dangerous as you go around corners because of the snow that's piling up. And as far as the latest storm, well, here are some of the totals. 4.5 inches in Muscadet, a little over 4 inches in Prairie du Chien, Lancaster, 3.5 inches. The WISC-TV News 3 Now studios, about 3.5 inches here. Verona, 2.5, and about an inch down toward Janesville, where there was a little more freezing rain. I just saw the very latest total from the Dane County Regional Airport because they update it every 6 hours. The 6 o'clock report came in, so 3.3 officially for the airport. But now the accumulating snow is lifting to the north. Things pretty quiet around southern Wisconsin, although there may be some flurries or some patchy freezing drizzle. It doesn't really show up on the radar. As far as the advisories and warnings, they've been allowed to expire for our viewing area. Still winter weather advisories up toward Green Bay and Rhinelander. Winter storm warnings still in effect from the Twin Cities through much of northwestern Wisconsin, as the snow will continue there for a while longer. Now we have alert days in the forecast for the next storm system. Late Friday night into Saturday morning, we could see a period of some snow, sleet, and freezing rain that'll change over to rain for much of the day on Saturday as temperatures get above freezing. But then Saturday night, as a cold front sweeps through, that will change back to mixed precipitation and then eventually to snow early on Sunday morning. We could see several inches of accumulation before that storm moves out. Ice might be a big problem. The GFS U.S. computer model showing about 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain, but look at the European computer model, perhaps up to almost a 1/2 inch of freezing rain from Madison northward. That could be almost ice storm conditions. As far as the snow is concerned, right now the heaviest snow is still expected to be toward north and west, but not by too much. 6 to 10 inches in a swath, at least according to the European computer model, from northeastern Iowa through north central Wisconsin. The GFS U.S. computer model has the heavier snow a little farther to the north and west, but a little broader band with up to 1 foot up toward Eau Claire. So again, if you're traveling to the north and west, well, actually anywhere from southern Wisconsin north and west through the weekend, keep the latest forecast in mind. The live view from the Platteville Queen Bee Radio Skycam, the snow has ended there, so you can see the lights pretty clearly, but skies are mostly cloudy. The WISC Skycam looking off toward the east, you can see right now pretty quiet conditions here, and the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, not seeing any snowflakes in the spotlights. Our almanac for today shows a high of 34, the low 23, and right now we're still at 34 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. So for tonight, look for the flurries and freezing drizzle to end. Skies that turn partly cloudy overnight. That'll drop the low to 18. For tomorrow, lots of sunshine, a slightly colder day, high temperature at 29, but still not bad. On future track, the clouds will be moving out tonight. That'll drop temperatures into the upper teens by morning. Highs tomorrow, upper 20s with plenty of sunshine. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow night, still enough to allow temperatures to drop into the single digits. And then on Friday, a little warmer, high temperatures in the low to mid 30s. And as we look at the 10-day forecast, again, that winter storm situation Saturday and Sunday. Colder weather for much of next week, maybe more accumulating snow Monday night into Tuesday, and then just very cold toward the end of next week.
Steve Stricker will be the United States Ryder Cup captain at Whistling Straits next year. His not-so-surprising reaction coming up in sports.
Hi, I'm Michelle Carolla. Tonight on the news at 9, how Madison city officials are addressing all of the empty storefronts that now many box stores went out of business. That story is only on Fox 47 News at 9.
Having Steve Stricker be the United States captain for the Ryder Cup in 2020 just made too much sense. With the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits in September of next year, why not have Wisconsin's favorite son lead the U.S. team? Stricker accepted the position today as a lot of familiar Wisconsin sports personalities helped out at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, included in that former Badger greats Alondo Tucker and Mark Tauscher. Stricker played in 3 Ryder Cups. He was a vice captain in 2 others. He was a U.S. captain for the President's Cup. How did Stricker react to today's announcement? Well, like he always does. He cried.
I'm an emotional guy, but truly a dream come true. You know, an honor to represent the PGA, the competition itself, and truly humbled, really humbled by this. You know, some people see this and they don't think I'm very passionate about or fiery about playing the game of golf and what I do for a living, but deep down, I'm very competitive. We want to win this more than ever.
The U.S. lost the Ryder Cup to Europe in Paris, and the Americans won it only twice since 1999. Stricker says he knows there are tough decisions ahead on who makes the team and who plays when the actual competition begins. Why is he the U.S. captain? Well, because of his experience and his character.
Treat people fairly. Just try to do the right things, I guess. And kind of earns the respect of other people, but kind of treat people the way, you know, I want to be treated. And, you know, I've made a lot of friends over the years and been around long enough where, you know, you're just old, you lose your hair, you gain that respect for being around.
The Brewers' first spring training game is Saturday against the Cubs in Mesa, Arizona. It's still cool there, highs in the mid-50s today. Tomorrow it's going to rain with a high of 51. There's great expectations and anticipation for the 2019 Brewers. They won the Central Division last year. They were 1 win away from the World Series. Their batting order, 1 through 8, appears to be as good as anyone's. And Ryan Braun, who's heading into his 13th season in Milwaukee, likes what he sees.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about as good a lineup as I've ever been a part of, if you look at it on paper. And on top of that, it just adds to our depth. You know, as we all know, throughout the course of a season, your depth will be tested. So the more quality players you have that are starting on an everyday basis as well as coming off your bench, the more beneficial it is as you inevitably deal with adversity as a team.
There's basketball at the Kohl Center tonight. The Badger women's team plays Illinois at 7 o'clock. The Badger men's next game Saturday night, 7:30 at Northwestern. Pittsburgh Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell will become a free agent. The Steelers said they won't place a franchise or transition tag on Bell, who sat out last season in a contract dispute. That means both Bell and almost surely Antonio Brown won't return to the Steelers next season. And tonight we're pleased to announce a bonus Prep Mania game of the week. We'll visit Lodi for the Division III boys basketball tournament game between River Valley and Lodi next Tuesday night. We'll bring you that game live on channel3000.com Tuesday night, beginning at 7. So I've got 6 days to get John Boyle up to speed on River Valley and Lodi. So
nice to add an extra game, though, because we've had the weather delays and cancellations.
And we haven't done a tournament game in a while, too. What's that?
I was just going to say, you better say weather permitting as well. There's the potential for accumulating snow.
Don't rain on our parade or snow.
It's always sunny in Lodi, though, isn't it?
You would think so, but not this winter. Okay. Well, right now, at least everything's winding down. The flurries, the freezing drizzle should come to an end later on this evening. Still might be a little slick in some spots, especially as temperatures drop below freezing. Right now, we're just above freezing, which is helping with the salt and melting a little of the snow on the pavement. But again, that winter storm situation over the weekend with some mixed precipitation changing to snow on Sunday. More accumulating snow from Monday night into Tuesday of next week, and then even colder weather. In fact, wind chills maybe down to 25 below zero by next Saturday morning. How about that?
No.
Just for good measure.
No, how about that?
No more. No more. Thanks for joining us, folks.
Have a great evening. We'll see you back here at 10.